Hi, I'm Marna. Thank you for joining me. So today I'm talking about negative self-talk. Just what is this? I mean, it sounds like a bunch of psycho mumbo jumbo, right? So negative self-talk is that tendency that all of us have to be our own worst critic. I don't know about you, but as someone who had body image issues, I spent literally years of my life looking in the mirror, and pointing out all the flaws. Like, ooh, I've got a spot there, and oh, these forehead wrinkles, and I'm the grayish showing, and oh, my complexion is awful. And yeah, if you take the time to find the flaws, you will find them. We all have flaws. No one's perfect. Not even the Instagram models with all of their brush up tools and filters and all the fun stuff. We all have negative self-talk, and we are all taught this negative self-talk from childhood. How's that for a mind blower? How many times when you were growing up did your well-meaning adult caregiver, parent, whatever, look at you and say, "Oh no, honey, you're not ready to do that. That's too big for you. You can't ride this. You're not tall enough to ride this ride." How many times did someone look at you and tell you, "I expected more from you. I really thought you could do better than that. You are smarter than this grade." That was one I heard a lot. All of these are building blocks for the critic that we create within ourselves. And my critic still sounds an awful lot like my mother did 40 years ago. So, how does this manifest in our lives? You tell me. How many times have you stood in front of a mirror and found your flaws? How many times have you talked yourself out of doing something that you really wanted to do because, oh, there's no way I could do that? How many times have you had $1 million idea and then not followed through on it because if it was such a great idea, someone else would have done it by now? These are all aspects of negative self-talk too. And the impact negative self-talk has on our lives is incalculable. If you have a predisposition towards mental illnesses anyway, negative self-talk makes that all worse. You sit there and put yourself in a spiral of negative thinking. You get caught going round and round and round, just seeing and hearing nothing but what's wrong with you, why you can't be the person that you want to be, why you cannot show out in the way that you are meant to show. You dim your own shine. If you're prone towards depression, a really bad spiral of negative self-talk can lead you all the way to suicidal ideation. I've been there. So this is not a small thing. This is not something that is all in your head. This is not your imagination. This is something that is profoundly affecting your life, whether you realize it or not. People who tend to go for the negative self-talk also think they are being realistic. That's one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves, that we are being firm and grounded and realistic when we say we cannot do something. I mean, let's just face the facts. If everyone could do this, everyone would, right? If I could do this, anyone can. And if anyone can, then everyone would. So it must not be possible for me to do. That is your own limiting belief. That is your negative self-talk holding you back from where you are meant to be. Let me tell you, if I can sit here, shy, introverted little me, can sit here and talk to you about negative self-talk, then anyone can get on these video channels and create the videos passing on information people need. This is not just something that I'm doing because I am so spectacular. Please. I am here because this information profoundly affected my life, and I care about you enough that I want to share that information with you. I know, radical idea. So what is it that we're facing here? When you are used to being down on yourself, when you are used to that negative self-talk, when you are used to finding the flaws with yourself, you prevent yourself from seeing opportunities. We are all primed to seeing what we expect to see. It is a natural human thing. If you tell yourself that you are looking for yellow cars, suddenly you're going to see yellow cars everywhere, even if you never noticed them before, because you've told your subconscious that you're looking for them. If you tell your subconscious that you are looking for reasons why you cannot be you, why you cannot develop, why you cannot grow, then sure enough, that's what you're going to find. Reasons everywhere why you cannot move further than where you are. Reasons why you cannot evolve. Reasons why you cannot step out of the mental prison you're in, even though the only thing holding you there is your own mind. So start looking for these reasons. And this stuff is insidious. This stuff hides itself. So how do you know when you're indulging in negative self-talk? Well, there's the obvious one. There is hearing your mother's voice saying, well, you can do better than that, and I can't believe you're wasting your time on that nonsense. You're going to rot your brain out. That was one I heard a lot. But it comes in other ways too. The more you tell yourself you can't do something, the more you grow into believe it. A big one for me, for years, I can't drive on major highways. I can't drive in fast traffic. Do you have any idea how limiting that is when you live in a city? To think that you can't drive on a 6-lane highway? That one had to be broken for me to be able to function as an adult. But it was there. Another way it comes through is perfectionism. Well, if I can't be perfect at it, I'm not going to bother. Yeah, I tried drawing and I really sucked at it, so I just gave up and went on to something else. You know, oh yeah, I tried singing karaoke once and it was awful. Oh, I can't carry a tune in a bucket. I'm not even going to try anymore. Perfection is the enemy of growth because all of us have to start at the bottom. Now, there are some people who have natural talent and, are suddenly prodigies in a new skill. And, all we can do is kind of look at them and say, wow, you're blessed. But for most of us, developing a new skill takes work. You're not going to be good at everything the first time that you do it. You're probably not going to be good at the second or third time either. Any new skill takes development. And anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can do it well. Another way that negative self-talk really manifested in my life is feelings of depression. And this did lead to suicidal ideation and suicidal behaviors. Yeah. In the vein of, I'm not a perfect person. I have been institutionalized for suicidal attempts. I will say, when I was in those hospitals, I met some of the kindest, most caring, most genuine people I've ever met. And all of us were there because all of us believed the negative self-talk. All of us believed that we were not worthy of living. And those thoughts were only coming from within us. The other big way that my negative self-talk has always manifested has been relationship issues. Now, it's very easy for me to just say I have bad taste in men and occasionally women and leave it at that. But that's not it. I allowed bad behaviors from my partners because I believed I did not deserve anything better. I believed I was not worthy of the amount of love I was giving. I believed I deserved to be abused. I deserved to be physically hurt. I deserved, quite honestly, with one of my exes. He spent 4 years poisoning me because he had a $400,000 life insurance policy, and that was worth more than I was. And I believed that with him enough to allow it to happen until I finally could not take any more. And when I stopped being complacent to what he was doing, that was when he looked at me and told me he didn't sign up to have a disabled spouse and wanted out of the marriage. Talk about a blow. But in the long run, all of these bad relationships, all of these people who used, abused, and moved on, they did me the biggest favor because they reflected to me the negative beliefs that I was enabling, the negative beliefs I was bringing into my life. And it was only by stepping out of that cycle of negative self-talk that I could start breaking those belief codes. It's not easy. Nothing worth doing really is easy, but it is worth doing poorly until you can do it right. So keep watching for future videos. I'll put the next one up in the sky somewhere, and I'll stick it to the end of this one. But yeah, there are ways of breaking this cycle. Once you recognize what it is, it gets a lot easier to fight it. I'm Marna, and thank you for joining me.